Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aisya Niswatul Hilali. I am from 4A class. So, for the past 20 years, I've been helping Malaysian and other Southeast Asians to speak better English. And through training thousands of Southeast Asians, I've discovered a very surprising truth. I've discovered that how well somebody communicates in English actually has very little to do with their English level. It has a lot to do with their attitude toward English. There are people out there who have a very low level of English and they can communicate very well. One of them that I remember was a student, a participant of mine named Faisal. He was a factory supervisor, English level very low. But this guy could just sit and listen to anybody, very calmly query, and then he could respond, absolutely express his thoughts beautifully at a very low level of English. So today I want to share with you what is so different about people like Faisal. How do they do it? And second of all, why is this so important? Not only to you, but to your children, your community, and to the future of Malaysia. And third of all, what's one thing you do starting today if you want to speak with that calm, clear confidence that people like Faisal have? So first of all, what is so different? How do people like Faisal do it? And so to answer that question, I'm going to take you back about 10 years. Okay. So training stopped at that time, and my daughter at that time was taking piano lessons. And I started to notice two really strong similarities between my daughter's attitude or thinking towards playing the piano. And a lot of Malaysians thinking or attitude towards English. First of all, I should tell you my daughter absolutely had piano, had the lessons, had practicing. This is the real thing. And she dreaded going to piano lessons because to my daughter, going to piano lessons, she was filled with this sort of dread because it was all about not screwing up right. Because like a lot of piano students, to both my daughters and her teacher, her success in piano was measured by how few mistakes she made. At the same time, I noticed that a lot of Malaysians went into English conversations with the same sort of feelings of dread, this sort of feeling that they were going to be judged by how many mistakes they were going to make and whether or not they were going to screw up. Now, the second similarity I noticed was to do with self-image. My daughter, she know what good piano sounded like, right? Because we've all hear a good piano, and she know what her level was, and she know how long she'd have been played for to play like that. And a lot of Malaysians, I noticed this idea of what good proper English you're supposed to sound like and what their English sounded like and how far they would have to go to get there, and they also felt like they were like my daughter. Just bad piano player, but English speaker, right? So I could see this similarity, but I still couldn't figure it out. Okay, what is it about these people like Faisal that are so different? They can just do it smoothly, calmly, with confidence. One day I discovered that answer and discovered it quite by chance. It was a day when my computer broke down and I had to go to cyber cafe. Okay, it was my first time and I discovered cyber cafes are disgusting places, okay? They're really gross, they're smelly, and they are filled with boys. And they are all playing noisy violent games. They are just disgusting places, but I had to go there. So I sat down and I started to notice this guy beside me and become very interested in this guy next to me. Now the guy is playing this game that is basically it's like shooting people until they die. And I noticed that this guy is not very good. It's like in fact he is a terrible, right? Because I'm looking and I'm seeing like a lot of shooting and not much dying. And what really interested me was behind this uh, touch Lucy player were three of his friends short of standing there watching him play. What I really noticed was even though this guy was terrible, even though his friends were uh, even though his friends were watching him, there was no embarrassment, there was no feeling of being judged, there was no shyness. In fact, quite the opposite. This guy totally focused on the bad guys. Smile on his face. All I can think about is killing these the guys right. I'm watching him and I suddenly realized this is it. So, this is the same attitude that people like Faisal have when they speak English, just like this guy. When Faisal goes into an English conversation, he doesn't feel judged. He is entirely focused on the person that he is speaking to and the result he wants to get. He's got no self-awareness. He no thoughts about his own mistake. So I want to share with you a real, true example to paint a picture of somebody who speaks English like they are playing piano and somebody who speaks English like they are playing a computer game. And this is a true story that happened to me. A while ago, I was in pharmacy. I had to buy Omega. My doctor said I should get Omega, and I go to the shelf. There's tons of Omega. There's Omega that's high in DHA, Omega that's high in APA, and I don't know which one to buy. Now the sales rep happened to be there. I chose it's like this well-dressed professional woman. I walk over to get and I see this look as she sees me. This short of it's a look like I recognize very well. Her eyes got wide, it shot off that panic. Oh God, I've got to speak to a native speaker. She's gonna judge me and notice my mistakes. I go up to her and I explain my situations. Which Omega do I get? And she started explaining to me everything about DHA and EPA you could possibly imagine. She speaks very quickly, goes all around in circles, and when she finishes, no idea what to buy, so I turn to the girl behind the counter. Now, the girl behind the counter, I had her before, her English level is very low. But when I walk over to her, this girl has no fear. In fact, she just looking at me. So I go up to her and I explain the problem, EPA and DHA. So she looks at me and she explained what I confused. So we've got two different kinds of communicators. We've got the one who's got a high level but totally focused on herself and getting it right, and therefore very ineffective. So we've got another one, low level, totally focused on the person she's talking to and getting a result, effective. And there's why the difference. So now why is this distinction so important, not just to you, but to your children, to the future of Malaysia and countries like Malaysia? And to answer that, let's take a look at who actually is speaking in English in the world today. Okay? So if you look at all of the English conversation in the whole world taking place right now on the planet Earth, we will see that every native speaker like me, there are 5 non-native speakers, and would listen to every conversation in English on planet Earth right now, we will notice that 96 those 96% those conversation involve non-native English speakers. Only 4% of those conversation are native speaker to native speakers. So this is not my language anymore, but this language is belong to you. It's not an art to be mastered, it's just a tool to use to get a result. So that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.